Look at this photo, Prince William, age 40. Now look at this one, Prince Charles, age 40. See the difference? Everyone sees it. But no one talks about it. William has blue eyes. Charles has blue eyes. William is tall. Charles is average height, but that is where similarities end. The face, completely different. The bone structure, nothing alike. The nose, not even close. Now, look at this photo. Barry Manicky, Diana's bodyguard from 1985 to 1987. Look at his face. Look at William's face. The resemblance is shocking. Same strong jawline, same nose shape, same facial structure, same smile, even the same way they tilt their head. In 1995, Diana did something no one knew about. She secretly took William to a private clinic, not a royal hospital, a private facility in Switzerland. She told them she needed medical tests, routine checkup for her son, but that was not why she was there. Diana requested a DNA test. She wanted to know the truth about William's paternity. The clinic director, Dr. Heinrich Mueller, kept records, private records that were not supposed to exist. In 2019, 4 years before he died, Dr. Mueller gave an interview to a German journalist he trusted. The interview was never published, but audio recordings survived. Dr. Mueller's voice shaking. Princess Diana came to my clinic in March 1995. She brought her son William. He was 12 years old. She asked for complete medical screening. But then, privately, she asked for something else. DNA paternity testing. She provided 2 samples, one from William, one from someone she said was the potential father. Not Prince Charles, someone else. The journalist asked who. Dr. Mueller refused to say the name, but he said this. The results came back 1 week later. I called Princess Diana personally, told her what we found. She went completely silent. For almost a minute, she said nothing. Then she whispered, "Are you absolutely certain?" I told her yes. 99.8% match. She asked me to destroy all records, every document, every sample, everything. She paid me a significant amount to make sure this never existed. Dr. Mueller claimed he destroyed most records, but he kept one file, hidden, locked away. I kept it because I thought someday the truth should come out. That boy deserves to know who his real father is. Dr. Mueller died in 2023. That file has never been found. But the question remains, who was the other man? Who did Diana test William against? The answer takes us back to 1985. Diana was 24 years old, married to Charles for 4 years, already had William. The marriage was falling apart. Charles was obsessed with Camilla, barely spoke to Diana, treated her like she did not exist. Diana was drowning. Bulimia, depression, isolation. She felt completely alone. Then Barry Manicky was assigned as her bodyguard. Barry was 37, married, 2 children. But he was kind to Diana, actually listened to her, made her laugh, treated her like a human being, not a princess, not a problem, just a person. Diana fell for him. Hard. Their affair started in late 1985, continued through 1986 and into early 1987. They were careful, discreet, meeting in private, when Charles was away, when no one was watching. But someone was always watching. The palace knew. Security services knew. They documented everything. And in May 1987, Barry Manicky was suddenly removed, transferred away from Diana's detail. No explanation given. Diana was devastated, begged them to let him stay. They refused. 2 months later, Barry Manicky died. Motorcycle accident, May 14, 1987. He was riding as a passenger. The bike collided with a car. Barry was killed instantly. The crash was ruled accidental, but Diana never believed it. She told friends she thought he was murdered. They got rid of him, she said, because he knew too much. Here is what most people do not know. Diana was pregnant when Barry died. 3 months pregnant. She had not told anyone yet, not Charles, not her family. Only Barry knew. And now he was dead. September 15, 1987, Diana gave birth to a baby boy. Prince Harry, red hair, different face structure from William. Does not look like Charles at all. Everyone assumed Harry was different because of Spencer family genes. Diana's brother Charles Spencer has red hair. Diana's father had reddish tones. Easy explanation. But what if it was not Spencer genes? What if it was Barry Maniky's genes? Look at photos of Barry. Reddish brown hair, strong features. Look at Harry. Same coloring, same features. The timeline matches. Barry and Diana's affair, 1985-1987. Harry conceived, May-June 1987, right when Barry was removed from duty, right before he died. But this story is not about Harry. This is about William. Because if Harry was Barry's son, that would be shocking, but not catastrophic. Harry is not heir to throne. But William? William is future king. And if William is not Charles's biological son, everything changes. The entire line of succession, the legitimacy of the monarchy, everything. So let us go back further. To 1982, Diana was pregnant with William. The palace was ecstatic, heir to the throne, future king. But there was a problem no one talked about. Charles and Diana's marriage was already struggling. Even in 1981-1982, Charles was still involved with Camilla. Diana knew it. She was devastated, isolated, desperate for affection, and there was someone else there, someone who paid attention to her, someone who made her feel valued, not Barry Maniky. He came later. This was earlier. 1981, 1982, a palace staff member, name, James Colthurst, doctor, friend, confidant. He was there constantly, helping Diana adjust to royal life, supporting her through the pregnancy, being the emotional support Charles refused to give. Diana and James were extremely close. Too close, some said. Rumors swirled even then, but they were dismissed. Diana was pregnant with the heir. No one dared suggest anything inappropriate. William was born June 21st, 1982. Charles was listed as father. No one questioned it. Why would they? But look at William's face. Look at James Colthurst's face. Look at the bone structure. Look at the features. Then look at Charles. The resemblance to Charles is minimal. The resemblance to Colthurst is striking. In 1995, Diana took William to Switzerland, had that DNA test done. Dr. Mueller said she provided a sample from someone else, not Charles. Who else would Diana test? Someone she suspected might be William's real father, James Colthurst, the man who was there during her pregnancy, the man who supported her when Charles did not, the man who looks remarkably like William. The DNA results came back, 99.8% match. Not to Charles, to James Colthurst. William was not Charles's biological son, the future king, had no royal blood. Diana received the call from Dr. Mueller, sat in her hotel room in Switzerland, holding the phone with shaking hands. "Are you absolutely certain?" she asked. "Yes, Your Royal Highness." 99.8% certainty. The sample you provided matches your son's DNA. Prince Charles is not the biological father. Diana hung up, sat in silence for hours. William was in the next room, 12 years old, playing video games, laughing, completely unaware that his entire identity was a lie. Diana looked at the test results, clinical, scientific, undeniable. William Arthur Philip Lewis, second in line to throne, future King of England, not royal at all. Diana thought about telling someone, her brother, her mother, a friend. But who could she trust? Who would not use this information against her? Against William? She thought about confronting Charles, demanding divorce, taking William and Harry, starting over, but Charles would destroy her, use the DNA test to prove she was unfit, take both children, paint her as unstable, lock her away. Diana was trapped. By the secret she now knew, by the truth that could never be spoken. For 2 years, Diana lived with this knowledge, looked at William every day, saw James Colthurst's features, the strong jaw, the blue eyes, the smile, every time William stood next to Charles, every public appearance, every royal photo. Diana saw the lie, saw how no one noticed, or maybe they did notice. But were too afraid to say anything. March 1996, Diana filed for divorce from Charles. The negotiations were brutal. Charles's lawyers were vicious, trying to limit her access to William and Harry, questioning her mental stability, using her bulimia, her depression, her paranoia. Diana's lawyers fought back, but Diana never mentioned the DNA test, never used it as leverage, because using it would destroy William, would take away his future, his identity, his entire life. Diana chose to protect William, even though it meant accepting a worse divorce settlement, even though it meant being painted as unstable, even though it meant losing power and position. She stayed silent. For William. Because that is what mothers do. They sacrifice themselves for their children. August 31st, 1997, Diana died in Paris. Took the secret with her. Or did she? In 2005, 8 years after Diana's death, something strange happened. James Colthurst gave an interview about his friendship with Diana. The journalist asked about rumors, about their closeness, about speculation regarding paternity. James's response was careful. Diana and I were very close friends. She confided in me about many things. Some things I will never discuss publicly. Some secrets should stay buried. For the sake of people I care about. Why would he say that? Why reference secrets? Why mention protecting people? Unless there was something to protect. In 2019, a former Palace staff member spoke anonymously. To a documentary filmmaker, the footage was never aired. But transcripts exist. The staff member said, there were always questions about William, about why he looked so different from Charles, but you could not ask, could not even whisper. The Palace made it very clear, this topic was forbidden. Anyone who mentioned it was immediately removed. Why would they be so aggressive about silencing speculation, unless there was something to hide? In 2023, genetic experts did a facial analysis, comparing William to Charles, comparing William to Diana's known male associates. The results were published in a genetics journal. Subject shows minimal genetic markers consistent with paternal figure A, Charles. Subject shows significant markers consistent with paternal figure D, unnamed. Facial structure analysis suggests 89% probability of alternative paternity. The journal was threatened with legal action. The article was retracted. The researchers were pressured to recant. Why? If there was nothing to hide, why the aggressive response? Today, William is 42 years old. Future king, father to George, Charlotte, Louis. Does he know? Does he suspect? Look at his face when he is around Charles. The distance, the formality. They do not look like father and son. They do not act like father and son. William is closer to his grandmother's memory, closer to Diana's side of family, almost as if he knows, almost as if he has always known. Something was different. In 2024, someone claiming to be Dr. Mueller's assistant came forward, said they had copies of files from Diana's 1995 DNA test, said they would release them. Within 48 hours, they disappeared, deleted all social media, canceled the planned press conference. No explanation, just gone, as if someone made them an offer or a threat. The truth about William's paternity is the most dangerous secret in the royal family, more dangerous than Harry's paternity, more dangerous than any affair or scandal, because William is the heir, the future king. If he is not Charles's biological son, the entire monarchy is built on a lie. Every king after Charles would be illegitimate, the bloodline broken, the divine right questioned. Everything would collapse. So the palace protects this secret, aggressively, completely. Anyone who gets close to the truth disappears. Files are destroyed. Witnesses silenced, evidence eliminated. But the truth has a way of coming out, and this truth is written on William's face. Every time he stands next to Charles, every time someone compares their features, every time genetic experts analyze their facial structure. The conclusion is the same. William looks nothing like Charles. Because he is not Charles's son. He is Diana's son, and someone else's. Someone the palace will never acknowledge. Someone whose name must never be spoken, because speaking that name would end the monarchy. Diana knew this, carried this burden, took it to her grave. But she left clues. For those willing to look, for those willing to see. The truth is in the photos, in the timeline, in the genetics, in the aggressive denials, in the silenced witnesses, in William's face. Every time you look at him, every time you see him next to Charles, you are looking at Diana's secret, the one she died protecting, The one that could destroy everything. Prince William. Future king. Living lie. Diana's DNA secret, taken to the grave, but still visible, for anyone brave enough to see it. Some secrets are written in blood, in DNA, in genetic markers, in the undeniable evidence of facial structure. William carries that secret in every feature. Every time he smiles, every time he stands in profile, every time someone compares him to Charles. The truth is there. Diana knew it, carried that knowledge until her last breath, chose William's future over her own vindication, chose silence over truth, chose protection over revenge. That is the greatest act of maternal love. Not claiming your child when doing so would destroy them, not speaking a truth that would shatter their world. Diana took William's secret to her grave, but she left it written on his face, for history to eventually decipher, for science to eventually prove, for the world to eventually acknowledge. The future King of England may not be royal at all, and the monarchy built on bloodlines may be built on a lie, Diana's sacrifice, Diana's secret, forever visible, forever denied, forever true.